Steve Robbins here. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. As you may know, I just love meetings. No, I don't. I hate meetings. And the reason is that meetings are often an utter waste of time. Perhaps the worst kind of meeting of all is the dreaded status update meeting. My pal Bernice's new plant shop, Green Growing Things, is doing extremely well. Each Monday morning at 8 a.m., she has a status meeting with her staff. Her theory is that this is a time when everyone is bright and chipper and just raring to go. People will share their status, and life will be perfect. Status meetings don't work. There are many problems with Bernice's theory. First of all, 90% of the population isn't conscious Monday morning at 8 a.m. We've just trained ourselves to sleep with our eyes open and to say things that sound sensible while we're really still dreaming about Oreo ice cream cake eating contests. Plus, the status meeting is often a time when everyone spews information into the middle of the room, hoping that they choose the right information to spew, and that the unconscious Oreo ice cream cake dreaming, sleep-deprived zombies around the table are sharp enough to notice what information they need, take it, and shamble with it. The team members who couldn't care less about that information sit by, patiently playing Plants vs. Zombies on their smartphones, ironic, no, until something relevant to them gets spewed out. It doesn't have to be this way. All you need to do is figure out what communication each person needs and then arrange a way for them to get that information efficiently. At your next status meeting, bring a piece of engineering graph paper. That's graph paper with a wide first column and a tall first row, and you can use those as the row and column labels. Label the columns with the names of your meeting attendees. Bernice labels hers Bernice, Europa, who handles ordering and bill paying, Melvin, who handles IT, and Stever, who counts the inventory. After each person speaks for about 5 to 10 minutes, stop the meeting and ask everyone what information was said that they needed to hear, if anything. In the next blank row, write the topic being mentioned, and under each person who found the information relevant, put a checkmark. During Bernice's status update, she says, "I finished negotiating with a new supplier of mulch." Europa says that she cares so that she can set up paperwork for ordering mulch. Melvin cares so that he can update the website with the mulch brand name. Stever doesn't care because he'll just count whatever happens to be in the warehouse. We now label a row, Change Mulch Supplier, and put a checkmark in the Europa column, the Melvin column, and the Bernice column, since she brought up the topic in the first place. By the end of the meeting, you'll have a matrix that tells you what gets discussed during status meetings and who needs to know about it. Bring your matrix back each week and improve it as you discover who needs to be in the loop for which different topics. This is a list that learns, which you can read about in the optimized chapter of my book, Get It Done Guys, 9 Steps to Work Less and to Do More. Now that you know who needs what information, scan your matrix and look for opportunities to turn topics into email distribution lists. Melvin and Europa need to know about new suppliers, while Stever doesn't. Bernice can create an email distribution list called Info Suppliers that consists of her, Melvin, and Europa. The three of them can use that email list anytime supplier information needs to be exchanged without dragging Stever into a conversation that isn't relevant for him. Also, see my episode, How to Write Email That Works. There's a link in today's transcript. Another advantage of using an email list is that members of the list can create email filters that highlight messages that are sent to info suppliers, so those messages can instantly be identified in an inbox. An even better solution for large topics, like specific project areas, is to use an online collaboration tool that lets people post messages and have conversations about the topic all in one place. Then people involved in a project can decide when they want to go catch up on all of the activity at once. I'm a shareholder in sgrouples.com, that's Scruples, a social media and collaboration tool which emphasizes privacy and makes sure that you own your own data. You can use a platform like Scruples. Other tools like that include Asana, ASANA, or Google Groups. You want to make sure that whatever tool you use lets team members start conversations on new but related topics when needed. Bernice could create a supplier management bulletin board. All discussions of new suppliers, hunts for multiple suppliers, existing supplier problems, or old suppliers could all happen on that board. Then, Melvin, Europa, and Stever can just visit the board when they want to catch up on all things supplier. As much as you love them, reduce your weekly status meetings by identifying what communication is relevant in them. using an information matrix that learns over time, and then when appropriate, move topics to email lists and online collaboration. Only the people with a need to know will spend their time on the information, and they can access it whenever they're at their peak, which for many of us is not going to be at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. This is Steve Robbins. Email questions to getitdone@quickanddirtytips.com and follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I help top performers boost their career success. If you want to know more, visit steverobbins.com. That's STEVERROBBINS.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.